I think there's a trend right now for first responders, healthcare providers. It was definitely born out of duty and honor and a sincere desire to serve others. However, it lacks some insight on longevity in the career. What I'm getting at is, I think that many of us in the profession are killing ourselves slowly to try to save other people's lives. If it's easier to look around rather than look inside yourself, then do that. How are your friends and your colleagues doing? Are they exercising? Are they taking care of themselves? Do they take time off? What's the quality of the food intake, especially for folks that work on an ambulance or are constantly away from a base and you're resorting to bars or processed food stuck in your pocket, or the EMS room at the hospitals stuffed with whatever leftover stuff patients didn't want. Thinking back to my very first course within EMS was a wilderness first responder class. I also took wilderness EMT and later became a paramedic and a nurse, of course. However, in that very first class, which was the foundation for taking care of patients outside of the hospital environment, we were taught to assess the scene before heading in to try to go save somebody, right? And when you're assessing the scene, the first thing that you take care of, the first person you take care of, the most important person on the scene is you, the rescuer, right? The EMT, the first responder. And essentially the idea is that if you become another patient, then you can't help anybody else. I've also been teaching wilderness first responder classes now for over 20 years. And initially when I teach that order of hierarchy, I get a little pushback from new students. However, it doesn't take long for them to really come to understand the logic behind it. I imagine pretty much any EMT, paramedic, field person has experienced some incident or precepted somebody where they had to remind them of that fact. Like, whoa, partner, especially like hazardous materials and whatnot. You got to slow down. Don't become another patient. It's a very important mantra. I guess my question is, how come we're losing sight of that in the long term? How come we are not prioritizing taking care of ourselves? It's time to do something different. In order for us all to remain in the field for as long as possible, to continue to be helping others, we need to start taking care of ourselves better. We need to start demanding and asking and standing up for new ideas in mental health and physical health and well-being for all first responders and healthcare providers. Follow me for more.